Hi, my name is Haley Wood, and this is my AEP 858 Module 15 case study over Truman Elementary. So first in the case, what do I know? Truman's reading scores are lower in reading than they are in math. 15% of the students are on free and reduced lunch, and 5% of the students speak a language other than English, and that language is primarily Spanish. The students seem to be losing ground as they go from grade to grade. Parents are concerned of the scores. They feel negative about the reading instruction, and they have notified the administrator expressing their concerns to myself. The district reading specialist was asked to come in and observe the classrooms. They gave kind of their opinions on what they noticed and also gave some advice for moving forward. And there's also a grant that is out there that exists that might be an option as far as funding to improve the reading instruction. So what do I need to know? I would like to know why students are not where they should be academically in reading. It seems to not be a concern in math, so what have we been doing in the past that is causing this in reading? I want to know if there's a more specific area where the deficiencies are occurring. Is it at the lower grade levels, kind of the basis of the reading instruction, or is it the upper with more the writing? Just kind of seeing if we can figure out where a specific area is more so. I also want to know how updated the curriculum is. Is this one that's been used? It sounds like the Basel. They've been using it for a long time, so just a little more information about the curriculum that's currently being used. I also want to know what professional development these teachers have in relation to reading. Is there a lot of new teachers that have come in? Has there been reading professional development done in the past? Just kind of an understanding of what's happened. And I also want to know if these teachers are using the state standards to guide their instruction, if that's been made a priority in the past, if they're using those at all to guide what they're doing in their classrooms. So the problem, students are not making the appropriate gains that they should in their reading. There is not consistency in teaching and instruction across the grade levels in this elementary school. There might be some schedule issues that exist. It sounds like different teachers are teaching reading for different amounts of time. Some of it's being split up between two parts due to scheduling. And parents are unhappy with the current state of the reading program and the progress that their students are achieving. So my plan of action, first, as the administrator, I would meet with the superintendent. I would share kind of the issues and the concerns that have been brought to me by parents. And I would also share about the grant information that I have been made aware of, so the superintendent can be aware of that and start looking into it as well. I would then create a team of teachers that would be responsible kind of for helping me with the main parts of just kind of our reading plan that we create to create success for our students. I would want one teacher from each grade level. Since Truman Elementary is a very large school, since we do have a lot of teachers, I would kind of like to pull one from each grade level just to kind of help make a smaller team. Administration would also be included on this team, as well as any support staff if there's at-risk special ed teachers, kind of whatever to make up the best diverse team that would help our students. I also want to get the teachers and stakeholders' opinions on the current program, see if there's a like for what we're doing, what we've been doing in the past, or if there isn't and I just haven't been made aware of it. And then I also want to inform parents of the plan. I want them to know that we're starting the process of looking into it and seeing what we need to do to make changes and improve the reading instruction in our building. And then I also like to make some small changes. I want the teachers to be on board with this and agree with these, but I'd like to increase the reading instruction time to 90 minutes and then fix those schedule changes so the blocks don't have to be split up into different parts of time. Just kind of encourage teachers to do some more small group instruction with differentiated instruction. I feel like all of these changes, these small changes, can be done without any major things happening, major money occurring, just little things that we can do right away to just hopefully start making some progress. I would then like to kind of just work on some professional development with my teachers. This could also be done in-house. It sounds like there's some of the teachers that might kind of be doing some good reading instruction and good reading progress. So kind of they could help out a little bit to start with until, unless there's funds and time that we can use to continue forward, which I'd like to do as we move forward in the program and the process. I would also kind of start looking at evaluations with teachers. What I can do as the administrator to make sure that my teachers are doing what they should be I also want to make sure there's a focus on the standards, make sure the teachers are aware of the standards and what they should be doing, because the state standards are a great guide for what needs to be covered in the classroom. And then I'd also like my staff to start looking at new curriculum. Not necessarily that a purchase would be able to be made now, but kind of just start the process and looking at what covers what our needs would be to improve our reading instruction. I also want to start, if not already being done, tracking, analyzing, and organizing the scores to once again see if we can find where those gaps exist. And I also want to look at the perceptions, kind of talk to some stakeholders, teachers, just to see if we can check for some improvements as the plan goes forward. Constant communication with them to make sure the needs of our students are being met. All along in this process with my team, also just following the necessary steps for the grant opportunity. There was a lot of dates listed where I need to make sure things are done to see about getting this grant for our school. And then I just want to keep stakeholders informed throughout the process, share the information about the grant with them, see if that's something that we'd like to do, and then keep them informed as we go throughout the process and what changes we are making. So some strategies that I used throughout that plan, I created a team to develop the plan for improvement. I wasn't the only one making those decisions. I wanted my teachers' input as we went throughout the process. I also involved teachers in the evaluation and selection of new curriculum and professional development. Constant, just want those teachers and their opinion, since they're the ones that are with the students every day. They ultimately know what is best specifically for their students, so keeping them involved in the process and what they feel they need would to help us with our program the best. And then also tracking and analyzing the scores and the perceptions. Just tracking that data is super important, just to see where the gaps exist, keep that constant communication in what we need to do for our students. So how did my plan do what was best for the students? We were working to improve the reading instruction for our students with some differentiated instruction so we can meet the needs of individual students and every student for what they need. We worked to create consistency for when students go from one grade level to the next from one teacher. Hopefully there's a lot more consistency that exists, making for better transitions and more improved learning for the students. And then also including the classroom teachers in the process was doing what was best for the students. I want those teachers to be engaged in the plan and willing to make it work, so that way it results in academic success for our students. Like I said earlier, the teachers know what is best for the students, so including them as much as possible in the process will be doing what is best for them. So the resolution to the problem, I formed groups of teachers to be involved in the process. I worked to improve the perceptions of our stakeholders and our teachers, and also improving the reading instruction program that we have. We tracked data with the perceptions, with the scores from tests and results, and then we're working towards the grant opportunity. Hopefully that process continues and we can get that grant, but right now that's kind of what the resolution has happened. So throughout this, what was I thinking? I wanted to know why there was inconsistency across grade levels. That's kind of, if the math isn't an issue, what is occurring that's making for these inconsistencies? Were the standards being followed? I just kind of want to know, were the teachers using that as a guide? Will these changes affect teacher climate? That's kind of a big thing, is keeping my teachers on board with what we're doing. So if we make these changes in our curriculum, will it affect the way our teachers get along? The stakeholders, relationships, just everything about the climate of our school. And then, will student success occur? I mean, we're making all these changes, but we can't guarantee that our students will be more successful in their scores. I was kind of feeling unsure and cautious throughout doing this. I was kind of unsure of, will it result in student success, these changes? I was cautious about the climate being affected. But I was also eager. I was eager to make these changes and improve the success for our students. And I was anxious to see if the impact would occur and how quickly we would notice some of those changes. And I was also optimistic, especially towards the end as the plan was more developed. I knew I had great teachers and a great committee, and we want students to be more successful. So just excited to see how the plan went forward and student success was changed. I was valuing the opinion of my stakeholders. They are very important in the success of our school, and so their desire for their students to be successful in the beginning, that was something I wanted to make sure I valued throughout the process. I also valued the opportunity that we could have that grant. Even just the possibility of it was a great opportunity for our school, and hopefully it continued and we were able to take advantage of it. And then I also valued my teachers, the work that they do with students and their desire to have students be successful is just important for me to keep in the forefront, and them knowing that they will do what is best for students. Some unresolved issues if there was the grant opportunity to not follow through, we would still need money to make changes. Our problem would still be there even if we didn't get the grant, so we'd have to find some way to make those changes occur. Also, the stakeholder and teacher buy-in. The change that we made, are they enough? Is there buy-in for the curriculum that we selected or any changes that we made? Teacher knowledge and new teachers coming in. If we have that new curriculum, there's going to be a lot of professional development that will be necessary for me to provide teachers so they can teach it to their best ability, as well as new teachers coming in. If I have new teachers coming in the next year, our curriculum is still pretty new, but they're also going to need to be made aware of what needs to be done. And will these changes, will these changes make for improved scores? Will everything that we've done result in higher scores and reading progress? So how did I act as an agent for continuous improvement by engaging families in the community in meaningful, reciprocal, and mutually beneficial ways? I took parent concerns into consideration from the beginning. I kept the stakeholders informed of the plan, and just throughout the whole process, I wanted them to be aware of what we were doing, as well as share with them the results after we've implemented a few things if things are changing. How did I use the data to respond and communicate to the larger community about their concerns? I kind of took in their perceptions of the reading program. We kind of looked at that and used that to create our plan. We shared the plan with them for improvement, and we continuously kept them informed of what we were doing. How did I use my knowledge of the policies, laws, and regulations that govern the school to influence and bring about positive changes that impacted all of the students? Knowing about the grant resource and following through with that process was one way that I used my knowledge, as well as professional development. I made sure that my teachers were kind of aware of what some better strategies were, how to implement better reading techniques, as well as an evaluation of the teachers and the current program that we have. And then how did I, as the building administrator, establish an ongoing dialogue with decision makers outside of the school to influence and improve instruction student performance? I was in constant contact with the superintendent, and then I brought in the district reading specialist into our school to look at what she thought needed to be changed and suggestions for improvement. The curriculum selection, we talked with stakeholders outside of our school, as well as reaching out across the state and nation to find what was best for our students in our school. Took into consideration the stakeholder perceptions of our school, our programs, and our scores, and then professional development. Other than in-house professional development, we reached outside of our school into the district and out to provide professional development for our teachers. Thanks for watching.